Hi everyone and welcome back. Today as I was getting ready to go through these old 12 by 12 paper pads and kind of organize the papers and take them out and sort them, I thought it might be kind of fun to take you along on my thought process as I do it. So I was up in my attic and I have a ton of craft supplies up there that I moved from my craft room up to the attic thinking, oh, I'll never use them again. But now that I've started making junk journals, I'm finding things up there that I can totally use for these journals, including scrapbook paper. So I came across a bag of 12 by 12 pads that I hadn't gone through yet. And they were these two. One is from American Crafts, My Girl, and then this one, the Pier from Crate Paper. And I thought it would be kind of fun for you to see how I decide what to keep and what to put aside for a while. And I may actually still not totally give away the papers yet. I might save them again up in the attic and see if it's something I might want to use later. So we'll see. But I have a video that I posted a couple months back showing my new organization for my scrapbook paper, because I used to have a ton of these 12 by 12 pads and they were just taking up a lot of room. They were bending and it just wasn't a good way to keep it organized. So I decided to take everything out of the paper pads and sort them in these organizers. I put them in these vertical storage files, and this is actually a variety pack. It's got the vertical storage container, and then it's got some like a kit filer, so if you have a scrapbook kit, you can file the different components of the kit in that, and it also fits in the file. And there's also just another file pocket that it comes with too. So these you can pick up on Amazon. I had room for one more, so I wanted to create a file box for 12 by 12 papers that I plan to use for junk journaling, or ones that I can reach for really quickly that I know will be good in a junk journal. So that would be maybe sort of a vintage look, that type of thing. I do have my papers organized, my other papers organized by color, image, all different things. And I'll put a link to the video in below showing you that my process going through that. So as I mentioned, this first paper pad was one from American Crafts, and I'm not really sure what year it's from. It's definitely maybe more than 5 years old. So I'm not quite sure, but I did use some of the papers in it, but I would just like to go through them some more, see if they're what I want to keep and what I want to set aside. So this one is a cut apart. It's a little, it's not really my style right now, so I think I'm going to set that aside for now. These are some pieces. Actually, I'm going to keep this. This is a little, I love grid pieces, or kind of like crosshatch pieces of scrapbook paper, and I always put my scraps back in the paper pad. So I found this. I'm just going to keep it. This stripe, I actually like. I'm going to keep that too and put that in my scrap. I have a scrap bin, and I think I'm going to think about these for a while. It's not, I don't think there's something I want to keep. These flowers, I don't think I'm going to keep either. The stars, I don't think that's something I want to keep right now. Hexagons, not really for me. Let me go through. This I'm not sure about. I kind of feel like this might work. I like the blue color. I feel like it might work for a junk journal. It's got sort of like a vintage look, but it's kind of one of those neutral backgrounds where you could kind of use it for anything. So I think I'm going to save these two pieces. So I'm just going to pop these out. They're perforated, so that's another thing I don't always like about the 12 by 12 paper pads. Sometimes the perforations show, and then you have to trim that off. In this case, they're not too bad, so I think it's okay. But I'm going to set those aside. This, I don't think the color will be for me. I don't use triangles that much. I don't think that would be for me either. Polka dots, I like some polka dots. I don't always like really far apart dots. So I think I might set these aside. And again, I'm going to maybe put this back up in the attic when I'm done taking the pages out, and then I may go back to it later, but for right now, this is what I want to keep in my craft room so I can reach for it and use it. So I think we're starting to repeat the patterns. Now this pink, I don't know, it's the same pattern as the blue, but I don't know if the pink really matches what I would be using. It's more of a, I don't know, what it's kind of a, it's not a pink that I normally use, so I think I'm gonna save that. This is a pattern I don't normally reach for. The butterflies, and the pink again is not something I would reach for. These words, I think, no. And then the flowers, I'm not sure about that. I think I'm gonna pass on this pattern here. Now this I think I'm going to keep because I think it would be good for boys scrapbooking pages. The background is very like a neutral gray, and it has dots on it, but they're really close together, so it's kind of a nice background to put, you know, pictures or anything like that, and it doesn't take away from what you're looking at. It's just kind of just a small print. It kind of reads as a neutral, and I think this will be good. So there's 2 of these. I'm going to keep these, and I have a section in my one of my file boxes that is just this type of thing, so kind of grays and browns, neutrals. So I'll save that. I kind of like this stripe. It's kind of a pajama stripe style, and I like the yellow, and I think I'm going to keep it because I think that would be good for kind of a vintage junk journal. So I'm going to keep that. I think there's 2 of each pattern in each of these. The strawberries, I love strawberries, but I'm not sure if the style of strawberry is right for me. I'm going to go back to it later and think about it, but I'm not sure that I think I like a brighter red strawberry, so we're going to go ahead and wait on this. Speech bubbles I don't normally use a lot. This pattern I don't normally reach for. And then these flowers and the triangles I think are not something that I would be using. And that's it for this paper pad. This is super old crepe paper. It's called the Pier. And I remember when I got this, I got the chipboard and I got all the parts to it, and I never ended up using it. But going back and looking at it, I really liked a lot of the patterns in here. So let's take a look. Some of them, like the zigzags, I don't know that I would use just because it's such a bold pattern for me, and I don't know if that's something I would choose. This is interesting. The kind of fish scales, and it's kind of got a vintage look. So I think I might save these. So I'm going to take those out. This one reminds me of kind of a retro look that I think would be good for like a men's either scrapbook page or a journal to make a signature from these pages. And I like the combination of kind of the dark green with the mint and then like the blue-green color. I think it's different. So I'm going to save that. Take these out. Then let's see. This one I don't know. It has a little more of a weathered look than I would prefer. So I think I'm gonna think about that for a while. Again, I don't use chevron that much, so I'm gonna just kind of pass on these. I like this. I love the flowers here. I think these are pretty for kind of a retro or vintage type, maybe a cookbook journal, something like that. So I'm definitely saving these. These hexagons, I don't think that I would use, so I'm going to pass on those. I always use wood grain. I have a huge collection of wood grain backgrounds because, again, they're a great neutral. And I have different shades. I have more gray tones, and this is nice because it's kind of like a brownish tone. So these are great for lots of different projects, so I'm going to save those. This I love because it's got the retro circles on it, so I'm going to save these 2. And I don't really use a lot of kind of frilly items when I make journals or do scrapbooking, but I do like this. I think that I might wish I had saved it if I don't set it aside. because it has the doilies and it has the pretty kind of light blue, and then it's got, I like that it has the little grid pattern too. So I think I'm going to save these. It's a little bit different, and it's got kind of like a modern feel with the grid, but then it's got the doilies. So I'm going to go ahead and save these. I might put them in my new junk journal paper holder. So I'll just save it for that. And then I love this. This is everything that you could find at a pier. So it's the carnival and the overlook and the docks and all the different kind of just a light background with the light blue. I think is really pretty. So I'm going to save this. It'd be nice for a beach scrapbook or a beach themed journal, vacation journal. This I'm going to have to think about. I normally don't like the far apart polka dots, but I do kind of like the background. It has like a cork background, and it's kind of a grayish brown. And I don't know, it might be something. Actually, I'm going to keep it because I don't know. I feel like if you look at something and it speaks to you right away, you should just keep it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This I like. Again, it's kind of more frilly than I normally use, but I feel like I could take a corner of this with the doily and paste it to the side of a page in a journal, and it would be kind of an interesting look. So I'm going to save these. So I'm getting a lot out of this book. And I think the polka dots are just a little large for what I would want to use. So I'm going to pass on those. The stripe, I don't know. I may have to go back to it. I'm not sure if it's a little too weathered looking for me, but I'll go back and take a look at it later and decide before I pass on it. Again, I wouldn't use this type of pattern right now. This is really cute, the little popsicles, so I'm definitely going to save those. I like that they're really close together, so it's almost got just a nice clean background, and the popsicles aren't really bold and bright. They just kind of add a nice background. So I'm going to go ahead and save both of these. And then this one, I don't know. I think it looks like ledger paper. It's a little weathered for me though, and the color, I don't know that I would use this green color. It's kind of a different kind of green color. So I think I'm going to pass on this one. I love this. I love this pattern. It's a very kind of retro kitchen look, so I'm definitely keeping that. And then I don't think I'm going to save this one. I don't think the color would work with some of the things that I use. Again, just a kind of a big bold pattern I don't think I would use. And then this color I don't know that I would use for any of my books. So that's it for this 12 by 12 pack. So I'm going to set these aside. Oops. And like I said, I'm going to take another look at it once I kind of put all these papers away. And go ahead and take a look at my previous video if you're looking to kind of get yourself organized as far as your 12 by 12 paper goes. And let me know if you have any questions about any of my choices. And thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next video.